Time's a charm. All right. Here we go. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. This is a crime-solving cooperative game in which we are trying to help the great Sherlock Holmes find the answers to
Solve a
murder.
mystery.
That's the word sentence. So there's a couple of important rules to the game. Chris is going to go over the functionality of the game, what we need, how we take turns, and all of that. So strap yourselves in because there's a lot of reading.
We will take on the role of the members of the unofficial gang of the Baker Street Irregulars, founded by the famous Sherlock Holmes, to keep him informed about the word on the street and help him in his mysterious cases. What we got here is the map of London. It's a simplified version of it during the Victorian era. All along, this map will take you through its streets so you can visit specific places and verify alibis. London's divided into areas: northwest, west center, southwest, east center, southeast. That's it. Which are delineated by blue lines in the Thames, the River Thames. Then each area is divided into numbers, matching the addresses of people to be questioned that you will find in the London directory. The house blocks marked in red represent specific places. Example, the British Museum. Those marked in black represent police stations, whatever. And the yellow ones represent all other places where you may have at some point to go and investigate.
I like that description. All right, so red is like important buildings.
Specific places. As the addresses are applied to house blocks, a character can, for example, be located at 62 EC, which is also the address of the Hotel Dock, without living in it. The places may change ownership from one case to another. There's a travel time scale in one of the map's corners, which is down there. This scale allows you to check suspects' walking speed only, and thus ascertain their alibis.
Oh, okay.
We flip it.
So, like, if we say like someone said they were here and then went over here, then we can dictate how long it took them.
Yeah, based on they were here at this day.
Yeah,
but then they were also here at this day. You check the legend pretty much, and it's like, wow, it would take you a week
6 hours
to get there, or something stupid like that. And you can tell them that that doesn't make sense. Their alibi doesn't hold up. On the back side, you have the map of Whitechapel. All addresses on Whitechapel are east and east center. The colors all mean the same. And then, there's the London directory. Located on the back of this book, the list offers Sherlock Holmes' recurring informants as well as their addresses. These informants will be able to help you in most cases, some being more useful than others depending on events. Informants on the back of the in this book. Text, the title and date of your mystery are presented to you in Chapter 1 for us, as well as the details of the case, generally during an interview at Holmes' residence. As soon as you think you have solved the case, you will be faced with 2 series of questions. The first series is always in direct relation to the case. The second series will allow you to score additional points for the discovery of events which are related to the case. It is common knowledge that Holmes is unbeatable. Do not despair. You might surprise yourself.
Oh, we could be detectives.
Make a guitar pick out of my wiener.
West End, 5th case, Dr. Goldfire.
Dick.
Monday, 12th of September, 1898. We join Wiggins, Holmes, and Watson for an evening of relaxation and newspaper reading. It's been an hour since 221B Baker Street went as quiet as the Diogenes Club. Wow.
Sure.
I don't know why I did that. When Holmes leaps out of his seat and heads to his tobacco pouch near the chimney. Mrs. Hudson enters as Holmes is stuffing his pipe. Dr. Watson, there's a gentleman here for you. She hands him the visitor's card. G. Todman Goldfire, Watson exclaims. Show him in, please, Mrs. Hudson. A few moments later, a tall and slim man with diaphanous skin is led into the room. His slimness is accented by the cut of his Reginald and his tight trousers. He responds to Watson's enthusiasm with a polite nod of his head. Hello, John, he says with a high-pitched voice. Oh, hello, John. I was actually thinking about you yesterday while reading your article on cerebral fever in the Lancet. Your Analysis is brilliant, Dr. Goldfire, as is your career, but we were all convinced of that as far back as the university. G. Todman Goldfire doesn't seem embarrassed by Watson's praise. Quite the opposite. He takes it as his normal due. Holmes, this is Dr. Todman Goldfire. We attended medical school together, but he's by far the most famous student of our class. Goldfire's voice is rather high-pitched, but contained and without emotion. It's also my reason for visiting. I need your help, or rather, should I say, I need Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Holmes, who spent the entire length of the dialogue standing in front of the chimney, drawing on his clay pipe, then addresses our guest. I'm Sherlock Holmes, and I would be glad to listen to your request. Holmes invites Todman Goldfire to be seated in an armchair while Watson takes care of his coat and cane. Once settled, Goldfire observes the room, and his gaze stops upon us. This is a case which requires great discretion, declares Goldfire. All of the cases I take care of are treated as such, Dr. Goldfire. I am not a general practitioner. I'm specialized in cerebral illnesses and am part of teams in many hospitals around London. My hospital choices, however, the Bethlehem Asylum. I've spent my life studying the human mind, and as John could tell you, my reputation in my domain is equal to yours in matters of criminal affairs, Mr. Holmes. We both deal with sick minds in our respective professions. I deal with so-called criminally insane brains, no matter what their behavior, while you take care of socially unaccepted behaviors. Todman Goldfire's voice has taken on the tone of a professor lecturing students. I've devised a number of procedures allowing me to identify mental troubles in people of normal appearance. Dr. Goldfire, I am not familiar with your theories, and I'd gladly talk with you at length about them, but you said you had an urgent affair of extreme importance. Tell me more, and I'll be able to ask the questions which will allow us to resolve your problem. Dr. Goldfire's face reddens slightly as he takes a deep breath, thus giving himself the time to find a certain serenity once again. It would seem, Mr. Holmes, that an attempt was made on my life, and I fear that another attempt shall be made soon. Do you know who would want you dead? Yes and no. I give you a list of suspects, and I know that one of them wants me to meet a tragic end. Can you describe what happened, Doctor? Asked Holmes without moving from his relaxed position. Being single, I down out at the Carlton most of the time. 2 nights ago, I was leaving the restaurant when a gunshot barely missed me. It was no accident, of that I'm sure. Using my methods, Dr. Goldfire removes a sheet of paper from the pocket of his coat. I've studied the theory of the suspicious and subjected it to a rigorous analysis. I've been able to draw up a series of questions, and the answers to which reveal the unconscious thoughts of interrogated person without them realizing it. From there, it's possible to deduce their future actions. What a brilliant theory, Todman, says Watson, his voice full of excitement. I didn't know you were working on that subject. With colleagues from the continent, we've been studying the subconscious and its importance in our actions for many years, but we're straying from the topic. No matter how I've managed to compile that list, it definitely contains the one who wants me dead. The last sentence contains an emotion until then absent from Dr. Goldfire's voice. Doesn't it, Mr. Holmes? Yes, Holmes replies somewhat dismissively. If the man who wants you dead is on that list, then I no longer need you. Could I see it? Dr. Goldfire hands his list to Holmes. You'll take the case? I'll take care of it. After a brief nod towards Holmes, he leaves the room, still ignoring us. What do you think of that, Holmes? Asks Watson as we retake our respective seats. The list, Watson, contains the most famous names from the medical field in London. My criminal archives aren't free of doctors. Some of them are even among some of the most brilliant criminal minds one could find in the history of crime. Holmes hands him the list. Watson looks it over and lets a long whistle, like an overheated kettle, before handing it to us. I don't know, says Wiggins. He seems rather cold, and his story is rather unbelievable. The fact that one of these doctors is a murderer in disguise might be no more than the fruit of his imagination. What you've just seen, Wiggins, was a warm Goldfire. Back when we were at the faculty, he talked to no one. It's the first time he has talked to me using my actual name. He used to call me Wharton. I'm not important enough in his eyes for him to use my name correctly, but I think that if someone wants to kill him, you can take his word for it. Very well, gentlemen, says Holmes. I've told you many times that one shouldn't elaborate theories before having solid information. The doctor has given us the beginning of a lead. We should refrain from judging G. Taubman Goldfire before having spoken to these people and followed all the leads. Let's have a toast to this new client and to the case he's brought us. Holmes goes to the buffet, brings back a bottle of port, of which he pours each of us a glass. As we sip our drinks, Holmes gazes out of the window. The fog is rising quickly, my friends. I think we can push back the start of our investigation until tomorrow.
Decision.
I am making the executive decision that we are going to go and visit Sir Charles Hale.
Charles Hale. Okay.
At St. George's.
St. George's.
Let me see if I can't find this real quick.
Let's find it in the directory. All right, 57 Southwest. No, Sir Charles isn't here yet today. It's not like him. He should already be here. Can you give us his address? Yes, he lives on Eaton Terrace. Eaton Terrace. Do you know Dr. Goldfire? Yes, he comes here from time to time. Have you ever seen him with Sir Charles? Were they friends? Friends? That's odd. I must admit that I have never imagined that Goldfire could have friends. But to answer your question, yes, I've seen them together on many occasions, and while they seemed distant towards each other, they didn't seem to be animosity between them.
Now it's Bud's turn. Take the book.
Jesus.
You are now the lead
I
investigator.
think Dr. Henry Gray would be the next best bet, which is Middlesex Hospital.
Middlesex Hospital.
After having asked many passers-by, we find the laboratory, which doubles as the office to Dr. Henry Gray. Inside the room, there are bodies, both whole and cut of primates, and cut up of primates of all sorts. Oh, Christ! Okay. The man we suppose is Dr. Gray is leaning over the shoulder of a young man holding a sketch pad. The two are carefully observing a human corpse laid out on the dissection table. The left leg open, revealing its morbid musculature. Musculature. We wait for Dr. Gray to pull away before questioning him. Dr. Gray? Yes. Could we bother you despite your packed schedule to ask you a few questions about one of your colleagues, Dr. Goldfire? How long have you known Dr. Goldfire? I met him when I was working at Charing Cross over 10 years ago. Do you consider him a friend? I think so, yeah. Our relationship is above all else professional. What were you doing on Saturday night? I was at home. Why? Dr. Goldfire told us about his recent work on the workings of the subconscious and the detection of killers-to-be through the analysis of series of test questions. That's absurd. I can't believe that George Taubman Goldfire has told you this. Just like I do, he believes his psychic issues have an organic origin. You must be mistaken, young man. However, sir, he told Sherlock Holmes that we had determined through this method that one of 4 doctors on this list wanted to kill him, a list on which your name appears. Dr. Gray's behavior, calm and polite so far, changes entirely upon hearing that last sentence. He turns crimson and his eyes seem to be on the verge of popping out of his head. I'm a doctor, held in high esteem by my peers. That theory is the most stupid thing I have ever heard, and I refuse to believe that it's the work of Dr. Goldfire. I suggest you take your theories and accusations elsewhere. Good day.
He did not sound very happy about that.
No, he did not.
I mean, I wouldn't be happy about being accused of something either.
Especially if you're like an esteemed doctor, where you're like, you've probably gone through a lot of shit and you're just trying your best.
Yeah. Okay. I say we shall go to Dr. Giblesko at 46 Tower Street. We're sorry for bothering you, Doctor, says Wiggins as we sit down in Gibilsko's private office.
Ooh.
Well, talk, young man. Dr. Gibilsko is rather rotund, but unlike the usual stereotype, he's far from jovial. He even looks rather severe. What's your relationship to Dr. Goldfire? We're colleagues, and we've worked together on occasion. You get along well? I think so, yes. Our approach to medical work is different, but in the eyes of the layman, that is nothing important. Could you tell us what you were doing on Saturday night? Why are you asking? Dr. Goldfire hired us. He believes his life may be in danger. Did a patient threaten him? No. A colleague. Another doctor? Yes. Goldfire gave us a list of names. He believes one of these people want to kill him. Your name is on that list. That's absurd. How did he reach that conclusion? Yeah, he explained to us that he had come up with a series of tests which allow one to detect the subconscious intentions of murderers. I don't claim to understand. Who sent you? Gabilsko gets up from his chair violently and stares at us with his small eyes. It's not Goldfire. I've never heard so much idiotic trash. Goldfire thought, as do I, that organic diseases are the source of mental illness. Tests. He isn't a mad Austrian. The body is an engine. If all the parts are in good order, it works. If it's not working, then you must look for the cracked piston. You don't stop to wonder if steel has a subconscious. I don't want to contradict you, Doctor. All I know is that Dr. Goldfire reached the conclusion that someone wants to kill him. In that case, gentlemen, I can only see one solution. For him to come and see me as a patient and not as a colleague. Good day, sirs.
Damn.
Oh, shit.
Wow, what a jerk.
He was not holding back on that one.
No, he was not.
I didn't write anything down because I was so...
Well, they were colleagues, but in a professional manner. They believed in the same theory of organic diseases and that body is an engine. If there's a piston that's misplaced, then you got to fix it.
Holly. That's the second person that got upset.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, they're accusing him of potential murder. Sure. You're the lead investigator.
We're going to Charles Hall's. Wiggins brings down the heavy brass knocker on Sir Hale's door many times, but no one answers. To our great surprise, when we turn the handle, the door opens. We enter timidly. Sir Charles! Wiggins' voice is weak despite its echo heard through the apparently empty house. The door to his office is cracked open, and we enter cautiously. A tragic tableau is laid out for us in the room. He's dead, says Wiggins after having searched for a pulse on his neck. Let's take a quick look before calling the police. Sir Charles, at least we assume that's who he is lying on the floor on his stomach. The right side of his head is bloody, and he seems to have been hit with a blunt object. His right hand, of which the middle finger is stained with ink, lies near his head. His left arm is lying alongside his body. Look in the fireplace! We discovered a half-burned cane. The handle is silver and bears a crest of which Wiggins recognizes as being the crest for the University of London. An engraving states, Promotion 1878, G. Towdman Goldfire. Wiggins slowly walks to the telephone and calls Scotland Yard. Wow. All right. So we got a dead body.
So, either Goldfire murdered the man, or someone that works with him that has access of his cane. Maybe he has it at his work. Maybe he has it at his home. I don't know.
I thought Goldfire had his cane though.
This is probably a ceremonial cane. Like it was like it's engraved with like the school
gifted.
Yeah. Maybe it was a gift.
Huh. All right, so right hand was next to the head with the ink on the middle finger. That's weird.
And then the left arm was
laid just
down,
right next to
down
the
his side. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't write that down, so that's okay.
Damn.
That's why we have 2 more note takers.
Damn.
Just as we settle down into the chairs lined up along the whitewashed walls of Bethlehem's Asylum's waiting room, a broad-shouldered man wearing a white coat enters and introduces himself as O'Connell. He invites us to follow him to see Dr. Praetorius.
Ah, Praetorius.
Praetorius.
Not Drake-torius.
Okay, that makes way more sense.
Are you here to see a patient? Asked O'Connell as he leads us along the white corridor. No, just Dr. Praetorius. Do you know Dr. Goldfire? Asks Wiggins in a carefree tone. Yes, he was here not long ago. He works with old Praetorius. What do you think of him? I'll tell you guys, I've been working here for as long as I can, for so long that I can't tell the difference between the patient and the doctors anymore. I wonder if some of these doctors shouldn't be locked up in here. Old Praetorius, there's 278 crazies here. Some believe themselves to be dogs, others lions. We have 3 Napoleons, 6 Wellingtons, and 2 bloody Queen Victorias locked up. And what is Praetorius thinking about? Hand hygiene. My team is made up of 36 fellows to be able to overpower these lunatics, and I need to spend hours each day checking their hands as if they were school children. Praetorius lines them up at the beginning of each shift and inspects their hands. If they aren't clean, they're sent to the sink. Crazies, doctors, are all the same. Arriving in the front of Praetorius's office, O'Connell knocks on the door, and a tall, lean man opens the door almost immediately. These gentlemen are here to see you, Doctor. Thank you. You can go. Praetorius closes the door behind us and heads to his desk, limping, while motioning for us to follow him. Where is that bloody cane? He mutters questioningly to himself before turning his piercing gaze to us. What can I do for you? We work for Dr. Goldfire. Dr. Goldfire? Yes. He's an acquaintance of yours? He's been in the team here at Bethlehem for 5 years now. I've known him for almost 10. Praetorius hasn't offered us a seat. There aren't any in his office. His desk is an old archivist's desk on which he leans as he talks to us. Before he has time to finish his sentence, the door opens abruptly. Dr. Praetorius! Come quick, sir, shouts O'Connell, overexcited. What's this about? Asks Praetorius. It's Dr. Goldfire. He's dead. Praetorius leaves the room with O'Connell and we follow them. The doctor's limp doesn't seem to hinder him as O'Connell leads us through the maze of corridors to a small group gathered in front of the enormous wooden door. He's in the cold room, says O'Connell to Praetorius while moving aside the curious from the way. Behind the door, the weak light of a light bulb illuminates the frozen air of a large room. Large slabs of meat hang from the ceiling, and crates of vegetables are stacked against the wall. The body of Dr. Goldfire is hanging near a carcass, fine, pale, and lifeless. Get him down from there, ordered Praetorius. I don't think we should do that. I've sent O'Reilly to fetch the police. We should wait for them. There's a bobby on the street. It shouldn't take too long, says O'Connell, his eyes fixed to the lifeless corpse. Before Praetorius has a chance to answer, the policeman in question enters the room. Bloody hell, he lets out as he enters the cold room. It doesn't take him long to decide that the case is of Scotland Yard's jurisdiction. We're kicked out of the morbid scene and asked to stay put in a waiting room. An hour later, one of the officers enters the room, followed by a young man with pink cheeks and a short man with a rat-like face. Wiggins, what a surprise. Hello, Inspector. Wiggins gives a semi-cynical smile to Lestrade. What can you tell us about Goldfire's death? I'm the one asking questions, Wiggins. And first off, I want you to know what you're doing here. Dr. Goldfire retained the services of Mr. Holmes last night. We're assisting him in his investigation. Well, your investigation is over. We found this in the pocket of his jacket. Lestrade hands us a short goodbye letter. Do I read the letter, I'm assuming?
Yeah, if you want to.
I can't look the world in the eye after what I've done. I'd rather put an end to it. I had a bet with Gregson that I'd solve the case before he found the murderer of that small crook Bobby Field. I think I won my pint for tonight. Lestrade turns to his companion. Channing, take their statements and remember that you're the investigator. Wiggins has a habit of forgetting his place. Last point, Wiggins. I better not hear you've been spreading stories about Goldfire's death. It'd be a pleasure to stick you in a hole. Jesus fuck.
Damn. Scotland Yard are assholes.
Ah, yes.
Oh, God.
Classic
Okay.
bodies. All right, we've gone to all the addresses.
O'Connell. What's up with O'Connell?
He just sounds like an orderly.
Yeah. Just an orderly who hasn't been there for a while.
Do we have Praetorius's address? His address?
No, was never given.
Nope.
But it seems almost weird that it shows that he was limping, but once he found out that Goldfire was dead, his limp didn't seem to bother him.
Also yelling about the cane.
Well, he didn't yell.
He was
muttered.
Muttered about the cane,
Yeah.
asking where it was. Which would make sense if he's the one who killed. What was it?
Goldfire?
Sir Charles
Oh,
Hale.
so Charles Hale.
if there was like a scuffle or something. Doesn't have his cane. He had a limp, but then
Probably
no limp.
I'm gonna reread that real quick. 28 Southeast.
Yeah. This can't be the end of the case.
Nah.
No, there's gonna be more we're not doing or finding out.
I wonder if we can find the O'Connell.
But the note doesn't make sense either.
No, it doesn't, because all it says is
It's like
Goodbye.
someone's trying to frame him for murdering Hale.
Yeah.
I can't live after what I've done, or I can't look at the world in the eye after what I've done. I'd rather put an end to it.
It's a good time to remind you guys that you guys should check out Tales of Yoibos on Bloodhaven.com, as well as Tucson by Night. Those are two of our brand new RPGs that we are playing, and you guys can check it out on our website right now.
Professor Maurice Benedict of Vienna will hold a lecture on the anatomical characteristics of the criminal brain. Professor Benedict will also present his collection of the brains of the greatest criminal of Europe, including the brain of Nikolai Bosch, the child murderer from Bucharest. Professor Benedict's lecture will take place at King's College Hospital.
King's College.
That's where we're going.
Huzzah!
It looks like half of London has come to listen to Professor Benedict and see his collection, declares Wiggins as we take our place at the end of the waiting line. The queue moves swiftly, and we soon step through the auditorium's entrance. Wiggins pays the young lady the price of all our tickets, and we sit down at the back of the packed auditorium. The room holds close to 200 people, far from Wiggins' exaggerated estimates. The hubbub caused by such a crowd immediately stops when the clock strikes 8, and a robust man comes on to stand in the middle of the stage. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Maurice Benedict from the University of Vienna. I am happy to see so many of you here. Tonight's conference presents an introduction to the comparative anatomy of brains. All of the specimens I'm about to introduce to you have been removed by myself for criminals I've interrogated at length. Most were executed for their crimes, the others died of natural causes. During the professor's speech, 2 young assistants have placed an easel covered in charts near the podium. The professor then launches into a description and detailed comparison of brain areas, criminals or not. We throw a glance at Wiggins and see him head down, chin on his chest, his eyes are closed and his breathing deep. Careful to imitate our leader, who also doze off. An elbow jab from Wiggins pulls us out of our short nap the very moment when a distant clock strikes 10. The speaker is still in the middle of comparing the fissures and the gyri in an enthusiastic way, but he seems to realize the agitation of his public and quickly puts an end to his conference. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If you now wish to examine my brain collection, I'd be happy to show them to you. The curtains open to reveal 3 long tables covered in sealed jars, each containing a brain floating in a yellowish liquid. Please enter the stage from the left and leave by the right in order to see all of the study subjects. Let's try to talk with her, Professor, says Wiggins. We follow him and end up in front of the professor, proud like a peacock in front of the line of amateurs who walk by in front of his brain collection. Professor Benedict, asks Wiggins, can we chat with you for just a moment? Of course, young man. What's the matter? We work for Dr. Goldfire. For George? Well, where is he? I'm not really sure, answers Wiggins evasively. We should have met last night when I arrived in London, but he didn't make it. He should have been here tonight, and I don't see him. That's not like him. You work for him? Yes. Are you doctors? No, detectives. Detectives, exclaims Benedict. Why would George need detectives? He believes his life to be in danger. What do you mean in danger? Holy shit. I'm just kidding. It's not that long. He suspects someone of wanting to murder him. Murder? I would think I was hearing a joke, except George doesn't have a sense of humor. Tell me everything.
That's funny.
Dr. Goldfire has reasons to believe that his life is in danger. He told us that he came up with a psychological test which would allow him to decipher the subconscious of an individual and detect a potential killer. He gave us a list of suspects, all doctors. Wiggins hands the list to Benedict. That's grotesque, shouts the professor after having looked over the list. Do you know who these men are? They are some of the most respected practitioners in the world of science. A test to decipher the subconscious? Absurd. Who gave you that list? Dr. Goldfire. That's ridiculous. It's not even his handwriting. Of course it is, answers Wiggins, perplexed. I hold a regular written correspondence with George, and this isn't his handwriting. Moreover, he'd never proclaim such absurdities to be from unconscious motives. This isn't a country doctor, a psychoanalyst, or a charlatan pretending he could cure patients by making them talk endlessly and analyzing their dreams. While those theories are becoming increasingly popular, George knows that all disease has a physical source. I don't know what game you're playing, gentlemen, but I have no wish to be a part of it. And before Wiggins could add anything, Professor Benedict walks away from us in long strides and exits the stage, leaving us with his brain collection.
Oh my god!
It's not his
handwriting.
Not his handwriting.
Where's the
first note.
Yeah, the very first note. It's not his handwriting. Sir Hale, when we found him, his head was beaten in with a blunt object, right?
Yeah.
And
I don't know how well this would work, but it'd be something.
It's not your turn.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I think it's just Balfour makes the decision, but we can all give
we can talk
opinions.
about it.
Okay.
Nah, no one's allowed to talk.
Yeah.
46 Southeast.
There was a body identified with severe suffered head trauma. Identified as Bobby Field, 91 Gilbert Street, EC.
The river and its shores have long been used as a dumping ground for bodies. Dumping ground. Okay, no, this is good. Let's go try to find Bobby Field. Bobby Field? Oh yeah, the guy who was found under Vax Hall. As I said, there isn't an investigation planned about him for today. We'll take care of him tomorrow morning, starting at 10.
Really? That's it? Damn it.
Did we ever try going to Dr. Goldfire's house? No. His is just Bethlehem, huh? Or
Yeah.
Bethlehem.
No, but we should try to go to Goldfire's house.
But did we know where it is?
Can
We
look
have
at
a
it in the
directory.
Well, I mean, like in the notes is what I mean. Or would that
No.
matter?
I don't think that matters.
I was just
Because
curious.
I'd imagine his house is a...
He's a doctor. It's a director.
I mean, it's here. George Todman, Goldfire?
Yep.
82 WC.
82 WC.
82 Hastings Streets is located in one of the neighborhoods where the uniformity of the meticulously clean and ordered meticulously, and ordered buildings erases the idea of British individualism. A heritage from a scared the shit out of me. I thought it was sliding on its own. A heritage from a Teutonic king for a people he never understood or loved, only led. These houses now represent British respectability. The red bricks and the white-washed fronts of the faces behind which hide doctors, lawyers, and prosperous merchants. As an answer to Wiggins knocks on the door, an old woman comes to open it. She's imposing, sort of woman usually found on a farm. She greets us with a brief, "Yes?" "Dr. Goldfire hired us to do some work. The doctor's not in, and I don't know when he'll be back." "We had an appointment with him," says Wiggins with an innocent look. "Can't we wait for him here?" "That's not a problem for me." We follow her inside the house. "Wait in there." Oh, God. She points at a pair of large, closed wooden doors. Wiggins slides them open as we enter Goldfire's private office. The room is so cluttered that it seems smaller than it really is. "It looks like a wing of the British Museum," says Wiggins while looking over the contents of the office. There are large tables covered in remaining pieces of skeletons, most of which don't seem human. The warmest touch is a family portrait framed on the desk. It represents a beautiful couple with their 2 sons, as well as a second young woman and a young man with a heavy mustache. "Damn, looks like a younger version of the governess," observes Wiggins as we continue our examination of the room. There is a cabinet filled with jars containing brains swimming in a clear liquid. Each jar is labeled with a name and a date. "Would you look at that?" exclaimed Wiggins. "It's the brains of some of the most famous murderers of Europe. A catalogue of psychopaths. The Hamburg Ripper, John Carter, and the Bristol Child Slayer, and our old friend, the Giant Rat of Sumatra. Do you remember him?" "I'll go take a look," says Wiggins after a few minutes. If anyone comes, just say that I've gone off to look for the bathroom, he continues while winking at us. A few minutes later, Wiggins, visibly excited, comes back into the room. You won't believe what I found up there, he says. We climb up the large staircase while hoping no one will ask us the reason of our presence here. Paintings of landscapes or of old couples line the walls. We pause on the landing, impatient for Wiggins to show us what he's discovered. He leads us through a corridor to the right. Everything in this house seems to correspond to the bourgeois chic that one could accept from a renowned doctor.
Bougie.
But there's something strange in the attic.
How'd you get all the way in the attic? Oh my.
We climb up the narrow stairs to an armored door held shut by a heavy lock and 2 keyholes. A bell is hanging not very far away. Security here is better than in the Tower of London. Wiggins sticks his eye in each keyhole in succession. We can't see much. He then tries to talk through them. Hello? Hello, is anyone there? No answer. Let's go look inside, says Wiggins, his eyes sparkling. Yeah, that's a good idea. We submit counterpoints, but what else could we do? Wiggins tries different keys until the door opens. We go in and make sure the room is void of any occupant. It's a very large room, which apparently is used as a residence by someone. 2 windows held fast by solid iron bars let in the last few rays of summer. The bars have been pried. The iron bars are indeed able to be easily removed, but have been set in order to give an illusion of solidity.
Someone escaped.
One side of the room is used as a bedroom, the other as a study. An old hazelnut desk holds a scattering of books and papers, observations on men, obsession and phobias, the human mind, and many other books in French and in German. A framed picture lies on a desk near a bronze lamp. We recognize the same family portrait seen earlier in Goldfire's office. What the devil? Roars the governess, I should have never let you out of my sight, you miscreants. Her eyes quickly go over to the room. Where is... Out! All of you! You don't even respect the privacy of this house. We have many questions, but the woman's anger doesn't allow us to ask them. She chases us out the door with a broom.
Now I just have any more questions.
Same family photo.
Same family photo, and it said that the younger girl
Looked like the governess.
Looked like the governess.
And the books, the naming of the book seems like something perhaps, that this sounds so bad, but like maybe someone of femininity would really research. If that makes sense. I don't know how, I don't know if you can even put that in. I'm not trying to make it sound bad.
No, I know. It's just we're trying to figure it out. So, hold on. So, there's a lot to unpack here. So, Goldfire was keeping someone's secret in the attic, and that person got out?
Apparently.
Or that was his secret study, and someone got in.
Maybe.
Oh, didn't think about that.
Because this is the iron bars are able to be easily removed, but have been set in order to give an illusion of solidity.
Oh, buddy. There was a lot of information there, but...
A lot of it wasn't pertinent,
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's not like
no.
we could really use it.
like the Benedict one as well.
Damn it.
You guys remember Shering's Cross?
That name sounds familiar.
The building of whatnot? I'm trying to remember where we heard that name before.
Oh, they met at Charing's Cross 10 years ago. Him and Goldfire.
That could be another.
Oh, do you want to go there?
Yeah, that could be another place. Well, it's, I think I have to give it to.
Woo!
I'm the lead investigator. I say we go back to King's College Hospital. I'm just
Okay.
kidding.
Okay, I mean,
Did you say Charing's Cross?
It's his
yeah,
investigation.
Shering's Cross.
Yes, I know Doctors Gray and Goldfire. Dr. Horace Mansfield, head director of Charing's Cross, tells us Dr. Gray is the head of our board on dementia. We provide discreet services of the highest quality to families who are in need of it. And Dr. Goldfire is also a member of this board? No, Dr. Goldfire has never been a member of our staff. One of his family members was a patient here many years ago. Do you know who that family member was? No, I don't know the details. As I said, we provide discreet services. It's probably that old lady.
Yeah. The farm lady.
Maybe.
Because who was on the picture? It was...
Two sons. daughter of some sort. I mean, you can always go
Yeah,
back
can
and
we,
look
can
at
we go
it.
back to that? It was 82 West Central.
Oh, it was literally right there. Nice.
Just the
Alright.
description of the photograph.
It represents a beautiful couple with their 2 sons, as well as a second young woman and a man with a heavy mustache.
Gray said that they met at. Charing Cross?
They met at Charing Cross 10 years ago. If he was never on the staff,
Correct.
the only other lead I can think of is the University of London for the cane.
Yeah, we haven't gone
Yeah.
there yet.
Yeah. Let's go to London, baby. Does not appear to be on here.
It's probably not pertinent to this.
Yeah, because I'm trying to look here.
Yeah, I do not see it. Wow, really? It's not pertinent to. Okay, so.
He works with
Doctor-
Goldfire.
No.
What?
No, Dr. Gray. Dr. Henry Gray worked on dementia.
Oh.
Goldfire wasn't. He wasn't a member of the staff.
So maybe him and Gray worked at some point. Like,
It-
met,
Probably tried
Or-
to collaborate.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or perhaps wasn't a doctor
Damn
then.
it.
We can try and
Yeah,
find a
maybe
way.
he wasn't a doctor then.
He says he just met him 10 years ago and at Charing Cross. So it could have been when he was getting help for whatever family member.
Maybe. Potentially.
But we got nothing else to go on.
We can try and compare handwriting
No, I have shit, so.
With what?
with the initial letter,
Oh, yeah.
that suicide note. That's what I was trying to do. And then y'all were moving 5 million miles an hour.
Yeah, the eyes are dotted the same. It has that same, like,
Oh, like left to right
yeah.
slash.
So that means it wasn't, then he didn't write the note.
Yeah, he didn't write the suicide letter either.
Yeah, it looks like the T's are the same.
Okay,
So,
so
definitely did not write the note.
whoever wrote this down.
Wrote the note.
Had to have killed. But
Goldfire gave us this letter.
so we claim. Oh, that's right.
No, he most definitely gave us this letter.
That is
Which
true.
means that's not Goldfire.
Yeah. Someone that had to have looked like Goldfire.
He has 2 brothers.
Maybe the man with the heavy mustache has to do with him in some way. And just shaved it.
But didn't Watson realize who he was? There's a gentleman here for you. Goldfire, Watson was saying, show him in.
No,
Could be identical twins.
He was expecting
Oh.
Dr. Goldfire. He never truly said if it was.
Who it was.
Yeah.
Where's the Goldfire residence again?
Goldfire's
82
82 West Central.
82 West Central.
Can I steal?
Yeah, go for it.
Should we go check out Scotland Yard?
Might have to at this point.
Yes.
13 Southwest.
Yeah. Let's check out Scotland Yard.
Because they said that the investigation was under jurisdiction of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Here we go. No, Inspector Lestrade isn't here, but Inspector Gregson is. What do you want, Wiggins? Gregson asks us as we enter his office. I hope you're not going to hang around for long. The inspector seems to be in a good mood today. We only need to be here for a moment, Inspector, says Wiggins as he slumps into the chair facing the desk. The inspector shakes his head. Gregson closes a file and pushes it to the corner of his impeccably tidy desk. Here's a case I won't be losing any sleep over, he says softly. What is that one about? Bobby Field is one of the least reputable characters in London. He's been killed. I saw the article in the police news. He was found in the Thames. Isn't that right? True. It was probably revenge. He must have let down someone once too many times. Too much cash, not enough judgment, if you see what I mean. We're rounding up the usual suspects. And now, Wiggins, what brings you here? What do you know about Dr. Goldfire? He's an expert. He advises us from time to time when we catch a true madman. He's an expert in psychopaths. Bobby Field, yo! Bobby Field!
We already
This is
checked
the
him out.
second time he was mentioned,
Yeah.
and he doesn't exist in the directory.
And we had nothing on O'Connell.
Just the last
Just a
name.
name. That's it.
Nothing.
Nothing else was. Nothing.
Unless we go through
There's
the O'Connell
no-
directory and try each one.
That feels a little cheap.
Leander, Thomas, and Denny.
Troy Thomas. Which one is it?
Yeah, I'm gonna do Thomas.
Okay, which one is it?
80 Southwest.
We'll just check real quick to see if it exists, and if it does, we'll give it to you.
Our knocks on O'Connell's door remain unanswered. His day's work at the Bethlehem Asylum must not be over. What is this?
That's a picture.
Photographer Oxford J. Bell?
That the name?
Why is that there? Directly under this.
I don't know. It could just be flavor. Let me look at
Do you
photographers.
see, do you see J. Bell anywhere? Is right.
No, not
Oh.
There's not enough H's in yours.
Uh,
Oh, see, now that's way too many.
Gotta find that medium. Okay. So, Goldfire, fake note, right? Disappears. Gone.
Or it could mean that he actually did write that note. If it matched the handwriting of the list he gave.
Well, it matched the handwriting, but the what's his face said that is not his handwriting.
Oh, yeah, Benedict.
Yeah, Benedict. Morris Benedict said nay. So the guy who Goldfinger came in first, that definitely was not him, or at least he didn't write the notes. He disappears. He's gone. Henry Gray, go to his place. He has primate pieces cut up on his lab section. Met.
At Charing Cross 10 years ago.
Yep.
They
And
had a
then
professional relationship.
He was at home on Saturday.
Got angry when we mentioned the list.
Did we ever go to his house?
Morris Benedict?
No,
No.
Henry Gray.
I think I looked for it.
Yeah, we looked for it and we couldn't find
We
it.
couldn't find it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check again real quick.
Okay.
You want to go talk to Sherlock Holmes? He can get us on the right track.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like we could. Yeah,
Okay,
where is
yeah.
he?
Sherlock Holmes will set you back on track with some good advice. Be careful, that help could spoil the fun of looking. 42 Northwest.
At this point, we're running out of ideas.
Yeah, I'm like, we need
We
help.
hit a wall.
Yeah.
42 Northwest. What, Wiggins? Are you already short of ideas?
Yeah.
Appearances can be deceiving. I thought you were a capable detective, but you're just a pale copy, Holmes tells us in a sarcastic smile. I suppose you investigated the names by that good Dr. Goldfire, starting with the close colleagues at Bethlehem. If that's the case, I think you should pay closer attention to the doctor's past, maybe even to his parents and his immediate family.
So we were on that. That's all?
That's it.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
all
it's
that's
just
there.
a little bit to get us.
Okay.
To the doctor's past. For Goldfire's past?
Yeah. So, I mean, we
No,
know that
or
he
his-
went to...
Or his colleagues, but...
No, Goldfire,
Goldfire
because
is-
his house
yeah.
with the family photo. That was the same in the attic and...
Yeah, and his office as well.
Let's see if we can...
So-
A, B, C, Goldfire.
Mom, dad, 2 sons, the sister, and then man with mustache. Damn it, so we were on the right track.
We were, and then just...
Did the name of the lady working, was it ever mentioned?
No, I think they just said...
The
No.
older woman?
A woman seems to be working on a farm, and then just
Looked like she belonged on a farm.
and then just the governess came in.
farm. Is there anything about a farm?
I think it was just a descriptor.
Just descriptor.
Yeah. Somerset House. Archive of births, deaths, marriages, and wills. To be consulted freely.
Oh! We found something.
We find Wiggins in the vestibule of Somerset House. He's leaning back on the columns of which hold the vaulted ceiling, leafing through the pages of his notebook. The sound of our footsteps cause him to look up. I hope you found some information useful to solving this case, says Wiggins. I've discovered something useful while checking out the birth certificates. George Tobin Goldfire has a twin brother,
Oh!
William Tobin Goldfire. A twin, yes, born on March 20th, 1854, from Agnes Goldfire, born of Agnes Ingalls and of Walter Goldfire, both dead. Interrupts Billy. The mother died very young, accidental death on 12th April 1866 at the age of 28.
Wow, super young.
Yeah, the father died on June 10th, 1889 from a heart attack at the age of 57.
What was the sister's name? Sorry.
Agnes
Agnes?
or Agnes.
Born from Agnes.
Oh,
That's
born
his
from
mother.
Agnes. Okay.
Born. Oh,
William
okay. And then
Todman.
her maiden name was Engels. Engels.
Agnes Engels.
Yeah.
That's the one name we could try to go for.
Yes.
Or maybe somebody who knows.
She's dead.
She
Go to the
is-
grave.
She is, but maybe like her cousin or something is still alive.
Maybe if she's in London, or if they're in London, and of Walter Goldfire. Blah blah blah. The wedding certificate indicates that Agnes Ingalls and Walter Goldfire were married on June 10th, 1852. Other children? None officially declared in any case. Maybe the attic was for an illegitimate child.
Oh,
I mean, that doesn't really help. We don't.
it doesn't. But now we know their names.
Yes. I'm going to continue looking at this list of informants. I feel like we needed to be looking at this the whole time.
Wallace and Jewel.
What?
We have Wallace Ingalls,
See?
which was the dad.
No.
Yeah.
Walter Goldfire was the dad.
Who the fuck is Wallace?
Right?
It was mentioned somewhere in the thing.
Because sworn Wallace was.
I don't know. I was reading it. I didn't write it down
I
in
guess it
notes.
doesn't matter. Yeah, but so we have Wallace and Jewel. So 50 southeast, if we want to go on Wallace, or 47. Wallace Ingalls greets us in his living room and chats with us while waiting for tea. A servant serves us and leaves us uncomfortably settled in with our host. Wallace Ingalls, Agnes Goldfire's younger brother, freshly arrived into his 60s, seems inclined to talk about his late sister and her husband. Walter was one of the most gifted politicians of his time. We would have certainly become prime ministers had he continued on his way. And Agnes was a good person. The ideal companion for Walter in his political ascension. The family always had doubts on the subject of Agnes's death. Mr. Ingalls' voice becomes soft and filled with sadness. Her death seemed troubling and premature to all of us. Troubling, inquires Wiggins? It's not that uncommon when someone dies young and in an unexplained way. Of course, agrees Mr. Ingalls. However, in the case of Agnes's death, it was different. Sure, Dr. Hall concluded it was an accident, but there was a dark side to it which was never cleared up. Why did Walter abandon his career, move to the countryside with the children, fire their tutor? The children never managed to adapt. Ingalls shakes his head. In any case, I never saw them again after my sister's death. Can you tell us more about the children and their tutor? That could help us greatly. You must forgive an old man's failing memory. I haven't thought about them in a long time. The children seem to appreciate the young man. He stayed with them 2 or 3 years longer than any other tutor. So probably got the mustache. Do you remember his name? Attard or Arpfed? Arpchid?
You want to
Spell that,
type
please.
that out?
Attard or Arpchad?
Or what?
Arpchad. I'm not sure anymore, but I know that after his dismissal, he opened a bookshop. One last thing, Mr. Eagle. When did you see Dr. Goldfire for the last time? At Walter's funeral. Good gracious, that must have been over 10 years ago. I've sometimes seen his name in the papers, but never tried to renew the relationship. I don't know what happened to William on his father's death.
Oh, that was 10 years ago. That was the funeral, or that was his dad or whatever.
Oh, so after his dad's death probably went... Oh, wait, hold on.
Maybe
Did his dad have dementia?
Had
after his wife died, or maybe the wife had dementia,
Oh.
and that's why she died young.
Oh. Maybe.
Okay, say that second name one more time. Spell it out. Sure,
Sure,
spell it out.
It was Arpchad.
Arpcord.
Epcot.
Epcot.
Thanks, Walt Disney.
Jewel.
Jewel Ingalls.
47 EC.
47 EC.
What do we got?
Sorry, but I can't help you. Agnes Engels isn't related to me, and I've never met her.
You son of a bitch. You want
Then-
to check out Sir Jasper Meeks, the head medical examiner at St. Bartholomew's Hospital?
We're gonna
Yes.
have to in a
He
minute.
performs the autopsies on all bodies found during cases.
Yes, because we're gonna find. I bet you we're gonna find some type of ink or some shit on him. We've been at this for almost 2 hours.
And we've been.
We are so stumped right now. The only body I have right now is Bobby Fields. There isn't much to say about it. He was killed by a blow to the top of the head, made by someone behind him and with a blunt object. No trace of a struggle. He was probably attacked by surprise. I know that another body should be arriving soon from Bethlehem Asylum, but I don't have more information. That's Goldfire.
But it's the exact same way that.
Hall.
Hall died.
Yeah, Charles
dead.
Hale.
Yeah. So same dude killed him.
Maybe not with the same weapon, but at least something that was a blunt object.
Another blunt object. Okay.
Any other informants?
I want to try H.R. Murray, 22 Southwest. He's a criminologist.
Let's do it.
We're gonna
22
have to.
Southwest.
Yep.
Murray is laying on top of one of his work tables, breathing deeply with a beatful smile, signs which shows he's deeply asleep. I hate waking him up, says Wiggins, but I'd like to know what was found on the body of Bobby Field. We wait for a moment while Wiggins makes up his mind. Apparently, he came to the conclusion we should be able to find the right box. He says while
what we're
starting
talking
to
about
search a
right now.
nearby shelf. There it is. Let's see. 7 shinglings, 9 pences. The tools of the trade. He says while
Shingles.
shillings.
Shillings?
Shillings.
Tool of the... What? Oh my god. Okay.
7 shillings and 9 pence.
Okay.
He says while showing a full key ring with a small tool evidently meant to pick locks. That's all. No need to wake him up, I think. He returns the items to the box and puts back the box into the shelf, and we leave discreetly.
Disraeli O'Brien, 14 West Central.
14 West
They are the archivists with the Office of National Archives.
14 West Central.
I think that all the informants are going to be on here.
Yeah. Disraeli O'Brien tells us that he knows about Bobby Field. What a case, that one. Got out of jail recently. These last few years he's been going in and out nonstop. I have seen that he's always operated the same way, easily identified, and was stupid enough to leave clues behind. He worked with... Here's a name. He worked with Robert Hitchin often enough. Can you tell us where we could find these people? Field is at the Hagwood Flop House on Sun Street.
There are flop houses there in the very back.
He told us when he left Millbank.
Flop house.
Hitchin gave us a fake address, and I don't know where to find him. Thanks, says Wiggins. Do you have anything under the name of Taubman Goldfire, he adds. No, there's no file under that name.
Edward Hall, the lawyer at Old Bailey Court. I've never heard of a case concerning the Taubman Goldfires, Edward Hall tells us. As for Bobby Field, he's a notorious recidivist, not very clever, and who has passed through these halls more than once. He spent a lot of time at Millbank Prison. He got out recently, I think. As this is not his first time, he must have left his address with the criminal archives. But we were already there.
Right. I don't remember them giving an address for Bobby
The
Field.
Hagwood Flop House.
Oh. We're going down a rabbit hole, because now we're going down Bobby Field stuff.
No, I'm assuming this is related.
So I'm assuming William went to prison where he met Bobby, right? There has to be a connection there.
Maybe.
And then
Or maybe
both of them-
Williams at the Flop House. Or
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
maybe Robert Hitchin's alias for William or something.
Prisons. Millbank Prison. 23 Southwest.
Director Bones' voice is threatening, and he looks at us as though we were convicts who had escaped from his prison. We wait on the other side of his old oaken desk cluttered with papers. The sign of a man more inclined to working than trying to impress his visitors with expensive and polished wood furnishing. Who are you here to get information on? Asks Bones
Bobby
brusquely. Bobby Field, retorts Wiggins at the same tone. We did the vermin do, asked Bones. While keeping his cold gaze on us, the director in the vest and short-sleeved shirt heads to his coat hung on a hook by the door, pulls out a cigar from his pocket and lights it like a badass. He was killed. Right in the middle of committing a crime, I suppose. We don't know. Our investigation isn't over. What can you tell us about him? A typical member of the underworld. A jewel thief who knows how to steal, but who isn't intelligent enough to get a good price when reselling the fruit of his crimes, and not inventive enough to change his modus operandi and not get caught. I've got hundreds of Bobby Fields. Did he make friends when he was here? Friends? Men like him don't make friends at best. They look for men they can use. Millbank isn't a social club, Mr. Wiggins, and I don't run it that way. There is this little old lady who, after having taken care of the roses in their gardens, turned their attention to a few hours a week on the poorer population of the prison. If only we could educate them, teach them to drink tea, they would be good citizens. Poppycock, the smoke comes out of Bones' nose and mouth as he draws all on his awful cigar. I see what you mean, Wiggins answers prudently. Field was rather quiet, so he did get a few privileges, such as the right to share a cell. His companion, William Bellamy, was a newcomer to the world of crime, a small fish, a coward. He's not able to do much and never puts himself in danger. And he's still here? No, he was freed a week ago. I don't think we'll see him again. He'll live in the rest of his life in his own prison, behind his own bars. Now, if you excuse me, I have work. All right, so we have William Bellamy.
My brain!
49
It tingles.
This is where we're going to tie it all
The
together.
shaky stairwell leading to Bellamy's attic apartment is situated in a small alleyway. An imposing woman, taller by a good head and heavier by a good 100 pounds than our fearless leader,
Dang.
answers Wiggins' bangs on the door. What do you want? She roars. We want to see William Bellamy, declares Wiggins, using all the suave charm he's capable of. This is not enough to move this Amazon, but the threats of getting the police involved allow us to gain access to the inside of the room. Bellamy is a timid man. There must be some truth to the proverb about how opposites attract, as it's so difficult to picture these two living together. God damn, so judgmental. The woman talks first. Who are you and what do you want? We're friends of Bobby Field. We're looking for information about his death and a case of missing jewels. Bellamy expresses himself for the first time. I didn't do anything. I don't know anything. Why are you coming here to bother me? I don't care who you might be, shouts the woman. Get out and right away. We realize we didn't have a choice as we carefully come down the stairs. Wiggins simply says he protests too much to be clean.
I'm gonna check out Porky Shinwell, journalist, or where is it? Owner of the Raven and Rat Pub, source of information for all illegal affairs and underworld figures.
Oh, here we go.
Kill me.
Honestly, wow, there we go.
Just wait until we knock out the Jack the Ripper one.
Fuck that.
We're gonna
Yeah,
have to
it's 5
answer
chapters.
these stupid questions at the end. That determines how many points we get. It's great. We enter the Raven and Rat, and we find Porky hunched over the counter. He's attentively reading the day's police news without paying mind to the rare few clients settled in the dark corners of the room. How's it going, Porky? No trouble? Asks Wiggins as he steps to the bar. As you see, they're not lining up to come in. Porky makes a wide gesture towards the mostly empty room. And on top of that, my clients are getting killed. Look at that. He points a finger at an article in the newspaper. Bobby Field is one of my best clients. And here somebody goes and kills him. A friend of yours? We were at Parkhurst together, but he kept on using his gifts for burglary, unlike me. Is that how he was killed? During a burglary? No, he was found floating in the Thames. He never worked alone. Maybe it was a disagreement between thieves, said Wiggins. Maybe. Could you make inquiries for me? I owe that to Bobby. Of course, Porky. What else could you tell us about him? As I said, we were at Parkhurst Prison together, and he came in the pub every week since I've owned it, when he wasn't behind bars. I won't say we were close friends, but a lot of the tips I've given you as well as Holmes came from Bobby. He had just finished a 6-month sentence at Millbank, but still didn't seem ready to go straight yet. I don't really know more. He lives in a family-run flop house a few blocks west of Liverpool Street train station. We'll try, Wiggins assures him. Thanks, can I do something for you? Have you heard about a Dr. Goldfire? Dr. Goldfire? No, that doesn't sound familiar. Oh well, see you around. Okay,
So we have Parkhurst Prison.
It's in there. I think it's in there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
And the flop house is nowhere to
No,
be
it's not.
No.
Oh my god.
There's the military prison, Millbank, and Newgate. Fuck. What's the name of the flop house?
The only one they gave us was Hagwood, but we couldn't find
Hagwood
it.
Flophouse.
We already went to Lomax, right?
Who is he?
Who?
Librarian at the London Library to be consulted for encyclopedic research.
No.
Try
Where are we
him.
going?
5 Southwest.
Dr. Goldfire? I know him well. He comes in every week to borrow books. I've seen as big as reader as he. He leaves with a half dozen books every visit, leaving me a list for the next week. He's not very inclined to talk. What does he read? His tastes have changed over the years. History, geology, biology. Recently, psychology is his favorite subject. You know that he already knew enough to fill volumes, right? I have the list of the books he borrowed last week right here. Observations on the nature of Han.
Okay.
Obsessions with phobias.
That book was in there.
Yep. The human mind.
Mm-hmm. Another one that was in there.
Hastem psychology and ick analyze.
It's probably Ig. No, it's id.
Yep, and we're totally right. Handwriting's completely different.
Yeah, kind of assumed.
Just making sure.
It's nice to know, though, for
Yeah.
sure. Like, we have proof it's different. Unless that's his twin brother's handwriting. No, I think it's the other way around.
No, yeah, this is Goldfire's and this is William.
Yeah, William, not.
There's another place I could probably check out. The telegraph office.
Check it out.
Telegraph.
Because we have no other leads. Anytime we try to go for a lead,
37,
they
let's
fucking.
It feels like we're like stuck trying to solve two things at once.
I know.
I was joking about that too. I was like, oh, while we're on the way, we'll just solve Bobby Field's murder. And apparently we are, because they're connected.
No, it's not in here.
Nothing in there.
Unless it's a red herring.
Quentin Hogg, 35 East Central.
35 East Central. All right, it's here. We find a disheveled Quentin Hogg in front of his cluttered desk as usual. He's busy at unjamming the letters of his typewriter with his index fingers. Wiggins, my friends, I suppose this isn't a courtesy visit. That's right, Quinn. We're investigating a disagreement between doctors. We think that you might have some information. One of them is Dr. Goldfire. I've heard of that guy. I think he's mainly worked in Bethlehem, but I don't have any criminal cases tied to it. What are you working on right now? Not much of interest. Porky Shinwell has asked me to ask about the murder of one of his old companions back at Parkhurst, Bobby Field. The only mystery seems to be the killer's identity. Field has met the same end as many of his kind. He apparently been killed after a burglary, probably by his accomplice. The burglary is only mentioned in the thing of the Robles family, but that's it.
Yeah.
All right. So
But it tracks with his MO, which is Jules.
Yeah.
What was the name of his... Dude, I feel like his William Bellamy killed Bobby Field. He was super quick
The only
to...
last thing
I feel like William Bonnamy is actually William Goldfire.
Could be.
Do you think... oh, God. What's his name? Was it Watson that recognized him off the bat?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what makes it hard. Is like Watson's like, oh,
Watson's not here.
The last
Went
thing I
to-
can
went to school with
see,
you.
there's two in here that could work. Either Langdale Pike or Central Carriage Depot.
What about the taxi company?
That's the
I think
carriage
it's the
depot.
carriage depot.
Meeting point for London cab drivers.
Sure. What is it?
5 West Central.
We wait for over an hour in front of the stable for Wiggins to look over the logs of the cab drivers. We watch the beautiful cabs entering and leaving the stables in their unceasing ballet throughout London. We soon see Wiggins snaking his way through the traffic towards us. I found some information which should be of interest to us, he says, notepad in hand. Let's go to that cafe and see what we can get out of it. We're quickly sitting around a table, tea and coffee cups around Wiggins' list. Here's some interesting piece of information from yesterday, September 12th. And we have times, departures, and destinations.
Okay.
So let's go through.
So it was taken from this location.
And then from 28 Lambeth to 44 Eaton, which is Sir Charles' house.
At what time?
At 8:30. No, 8 p.m.
And what was the first one?
Either 6:15 or 6:20.
How the fuck? So there's two different people.
But they're two different addresses. One of them is our guy.
Okay.
That much is known. They both went to the same place though. So I'm pretty sure whoever killed Sir Charles Hale came from. I mean, obviously came from. Where is it? Bethlehem. And the only two people that would go to Bethlehem is Dr. Praetorius and Dr. Goldfire.
But that could be
It links
anything.
the people from the Goldfire residence
Mm-hmm.
to Bethlehem.
Right.
And then from Bethlehem to Sir Charles Hale's place.
Then the other two
And then
addresses.
Homeboy couldn't find his cane. I think it's Goldfire's brother who was up in the attic.
That would make sense.
Broke out through the bars in the window. Went to Bethlehem. Maybe he had maybe he's trying to frame his brother, so he went and got the engraved cane that had Dr. Goldfire's stuff on it from the school they went to.
Oh yeah.
Went to Sir Charles Hale's place.
Knocked him out.
Fucking iced
Yeah,
that
just
guy.
Fucking dead.
Murdered him.
And there's no way we can get any information on the other two addresses.
Yeah.
It's all right. Well, should we look at the envelope and see
Well,
what we
we
got?
don't look at the envelope yet.
Okay.
What
are
we
the
do
questions?
is we have to answer at
Oh,
least the
God.
first series of questions.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Let's try it. Yeah, let's try this. Let's try this because we've got as much information as we could possibly fucking get.
Who is the dead man in the cold room?
Dr. Goldfire.
Is it Goldfire?
Oh
is it his
shit!
brother?
I didn't think
Fuck.
that being a possibility.
Yeah, that was one of the things I was thinking of.
Oh.
I thought I mentioned it. My bad.
Well, it had to.
But
have
why
been
would he
him.
be
No.
trying to frame himself?
Yeah.
It has
Yeah.
to be one of the brothers, though.
Yeah, it has to
Has
be
to
one
be-
of the two because they immediately got recognized as Dr. Goldfire.
Right.
Yeah.
And he has a twin. He has an identical twin.
Okay. I think Goldfire did die.
Yeah.
Okay, Goldfire.
Yeah,
Goldfire is
Goldfire.
dead.
Goldfire dead.
Who killed him?
I think
His brother?
His,
He was cold and pale. That means he was dead for a while.
Right.
Probably overnight.
Right.
So Goldfire went to Bethlehem. Goldfire's brother broke out
during that time.
and followed him
Followed him,
to Bethlehem.
which is the reason why there was two carriages.
Yeah, going to the same place. Right? Killed Goldfire.
Yep. Threw him in the.
Threw him in the
Cold
cold room.
Where
Like
the fuck
hooked him
that's
up on
at.
the slab of meat.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
the freezer area. Meat
so
storage.
so
Meat locker.
So it'd be William
So,
Goldfire. That's
yeah.
his name.
Why was he killed?
Fuck.
Damn. I'm gonna say because the real Goldfire was going to try an experiment on his brother.
Maybe or maybe just because of the way he was treated, because he wasn't
What
necessarily
books were found in the attic? It was just the German and
Obs-
French books, right?
observation
Yeah.
of men, the things of mind, and
There was something else. There's something else I read on that note.
but
Because
it was the ones that it was one of the it was also one of the names that was found in the library thing.
Yeah.
because
Obsessions
Gold-
and Phobias. That was the third book.
Goldfire was experimenting on his brother,
Yeah.
That's what
imprisoned him
Ooh.
to study him. I can't wait to see just how wrong we are.
You're ready.
Listen, we're stuck, and we just want
Where is the killer hiding?
like now or where he was.
Where is the killer hiding?
Fucking, I don't know.
The killer is hiding.
Maybe in the flop house. No, it wouldn't make sense because it's not. We couldn't find it. Maybe it's William
The
Bellamy.
killer is hiding as O'Connell.
Not who is the killer pretending to be.
Where's
Where-
he hiding?
Where is he hiding?
Bethlehem.
Bethlehem Asylum. Maybe.
Could be.
So we'll put that there. Bethlehem Asylum.
Who is a witness to the death of Agnes Goldfire?
The tutor?
The tutor that stayed for
Years.
2 or 3 years longer than the other ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's either gonna say that or one
Or
of
that
the
old
doctors.
lady?
I'd say one of the doctors.
Well, no, because it was. She died because of dementia, right?
Which Dr. Gray was specialty in at Cher's
Oh.
Crossing. And that's when he met Dr. Goldfire 10 years ago. So if it's the woman, Dr. Gray had to have noticed. Or if it was, because it's either that or it was a father.
Maybe Goldfire didn't accept
The
Dr. Gray's
diagnosis?
diagnosis.
Yeah.
Or thought that there was something that could have been done to fix it.
So the witness was Dr. Gray then.
Dr. Gray?
Yeah.
Who killed Sir Charles Hale? Goldfire's twin?
Goldfire's
twin.
I'm saying because it's the exact same thing that happened
Yeah.
to Bobby.
Why was Dr. Hale killed?
You
Hall.
knew about
Because
the-
if he was the one that knew the thing with the mom, he would be the only one to know about the
he had to have
the
known about
brothers.
the illegitimate child, which was William.
I don't know how he could be an illegitimate child if they're twins.
They said it, but there was a thing mentioning saying that William was an illegitimate kid. I can be wrong, but I remember hearing that somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that Gray knew about William.
Or it was talking about Hale, not Gray.
Yeah, Hale, not Gray.
Oh.
Hale was the dude who got murdered by the king.
Kane.
Who killed Bobby?
His accomplice,
What's his name?
William Bellamy.
Bellamy.
Is that what you think?
That's literally the only thing I can go off on
Yeah.
that one. And why was Bobby Field killed?
Then everyone kept mentioning maybe a disagreement
Yeah.
because he said he never worked alone.
And people didn't like the way he did things.
All right.
Y'all ready to be wrong?
Yeah, you guys ready for this?
Yeah, let's find out.
Goldfire was dead in the cold room. We think his twin brother killed him.
Mm-hmm.
We think his twin brother killed him because Goldfire imprisoned him
Yes.
to study. We think the killer's hiding in Bethlehem, the mental asylum, or the insane asylum. And Dr. Gray witnessed the death of Dr. Goldfire's mother. George Goldfire was the dead man in the cold room.
All right, so we were right.
His brother killed him
Yes,
All
we were
right.
right.
for bitterness and revenge. Was why.
Really?
Okay.
Okay.
He's hiding at Mrs. Warren's flop house.
Oh.
Oh.
Johann Hatchard saw William right after he had pushed his mother from the top of the stairs.
Wow.
So we missed something
We
there.
missed something there.
Who killed Sir Charles Hale? Goldfire's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Why was he killed? In revenge for his involvement in William's diagnostic and his internment,
Hey.
So
We were close on that one.
We were somewhat close.
and
yeah.
also to frame his brother.
Oh, so it was like okay. Either one would have been good.
Did we ever get the name of the that woman?
What woman?
No.
No.
Bellamy.
No. We just
Okay.
never gave
No,
a name.
we never got the name.
Maud Bellamy killed Bobby.
Why?
Maud Bellamy followed Field, intercepted him right after he burgled the Robles with the intent of mugging him, and killed him. We don't have enough information to know whether or not the murder was premeditated. To tally your score, add the points obtained by answering the questions, then total the number of leads you followed. Then compare the number of leads you followed to that of Holmes. 6 leads in this case. If you followed more leads than Holmes, subtract 5 points from your score for each extra lead.
Ah, what?
If you followed fewer leads than Holmes, add 5 points to your score.
That's crazy. we're in the negatives.
Yeah, just no.
Jeez. Well, yeah.
Yeah, we're in the
Fuck.
negatives because we went all over the place.
Yeah,
Well-
we went off on red herrings, and
Yeah.
also we were using the
Informants.
informants, and that counts as leads.
Damn.
Rough.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. If you guys liked it, let us know. We might do one again in the future because this was a lot of fun. Don't forget to check out the website for brand new episodes of Tales of Yoyobos, as well as Tucson by Night. And we'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.